Hello friends, welcome back to my channel today. My name is Anna in case you are new here, and on my channel you are going to find all things homemaking, homeschooling, mom encouragement, all of those kind of things. So if you are into that stuff, I would love to have you stick around and join my channel. All you have to do is hit the subscribe button and you will get to see my content that I produce every single week. Today I'm sharing with you things that I almost never do as a homemaker. Now, I wanted to preface this video by saying, please don't let this discourage you or upset you, because what I do may not necessarily be what you do, and that is okay. That is a beautiful thing. We should not be comparing ourselves. We should not be thinking that we're supposed to be doing it all. Do what God has called you to. Do what you feel convicted to do. Pray about it. God will reveal to you what you should do in different areas of your life, including your homemaking. So stay true to who you are. I am just hoping through this video I can give you guys a few little tips and tricks, some things that might be helpful for you in your homemaking journey. Okay, number one is I don't buy bread from the store. Now, this is where the almost comes in, because sometimes every once in a while I will buy sandwich bread from the store. If I am in a bind, it's been a crazy week, I haven't had a chance to make bread. I will also usually buy hamburger buns, hot dog buns when we have a party or something like that. But typically I make our own bread for our sandwiches and any kind of bread we eat with our meals, like our sourdough bread, our dinner rolls, things like that. And I'm trying to branch out even farther. I would love to start making my own tortillas. I'm going to start doing that very soon. But this is actually something super easy to do if you get in the routine of doing it. Sometimes with my sandwich bread, I only have to do it once every few weeks, but my artisan bread, I usually do that once a week, and that I just have a day of the week that I do that every single week, and that's the day that I make my bread, and it's just really easy because that's just part of my routine. But making your own homemade bread is, number one, so much more delicious. It's also so much healthier for you. The bread from the store, even the really good brands, oftentimes have a lot of yucky things in them. Preservatives, dyes, all kinds of things that you do not want your kids or yourself to consume. So it really is better to make your own. Even if you're not grinding your own wheat and doing sourdough, if you will just make a basic white bread with yeast, it will take you just a couple of hours and it will be so good, and it actually is really easy to do. So I highly recommend doing that. If you've never tried it, start with a basic white bread. It is so simple. And once you start doing it, you will not want to go back to the store-bought bread. Number two is I don't clean my house in one day. I stopped doing this after baby number 3, way back when. Maybe even baby number 2. I just realized it was way too much work, and I did not have the time to spend 4 hours in one day cleaning my entire house. Maybe you do, maybe that works for you, that's awesome. Every once in a while I do have to do that because I put things off or something like that. But for the most part, I stick to my cleaning schedule and I just get a little bit done each day. One day it might be sweep and mop the floors. One day it might be clean the bathrooms. One day it might be deep clean my kitchen. So I just have a little task that I do to stay on top of my cleaning, and I find that if I do it that way, it doesn't get overwhelming and I can keep my house maintained fairly easily. Which brings me to number 3, which is I don't clean my floors every day. I only mop maybe once a week, maybe twice if I'm feeling really crazy. But guys, this was one of those things as a homemaker I had to let go, because I was trying to sweep and mop every day and I was driving myself crazy. And I was like, this is just not worth it. What is the point even? My kids just get the floors dirty again. My kids are always outside, so they're always tracking dirt in and out. And I'm like, it just feels like brushing your teeth with Oreos. There's no point. So we do sweep after every meal in the kitchen. But as far as mopping, that only happens once a week. And sometimes in homemaking, you just have to figure out what is most important to you and then let the other things go, because you can't do it all. Number 4, and this might surprise you after I talked about baking bread, is I don't make everything from scratch. This is why this is not a homesteading baking kind of channel, I am not the mom that makes everything from scratch. I love to do that when I can, but for convenience sake, for my mental health sake, I do not make everything from scratch. I buy a lot of things already made. We even buy some processed foods, and I just don't even feel guilty about it, guys. I really don't. It makes my life so much easier. We eat off paper plates a lot. My kids eat cereal about 3 times a week. I try to limit that because otherwise they would eat it every single day. I try to buy the healthier brands, but still, I mean, it's cereal. How healthy can it really be? We buy chips. I only buy like 2 bags per grocery trip. And that's like every other week. Once it's gone, it's gone. It's not like I'm gonna go out and buy more chips if they're out of chips. And they're not just allowed to snack on them. They can get like a handful and that's it. But we buy things like that, and I think it is totally okay. Don't buy into the lie of society saying you have to make everything from scratch, or you're a bad homemaker, or you're a bad mom, because you're not, okay? There are lots of great things coming straight from the shelves of the grocery store that will nourish your kids and feed them and make your life so much easier. So take advantage of it. Number 5. I don't shop at fancy grocery stores, y'all. I would love to, because I go in Kroger every once in a while and I'm like, this is how the other half lives. It is so beautiful in here. Everything is so neat and pretty, and the people are so helpful, and they take you straight to where you need to be if you can't find something. It's just so wonderful. But I cannot do that because we cannot afford it. Now, every once in a while, I will go into those fancy grocery stores if I know that something is on sale, or if there's like a specific, like maybe organic fancy item that I need. But for the most part, I am shopping at Aldi's, Walmart, and Costco. And that is pretty much the only places we buy our groceries. And honestly, lately, I've been shopping at Aldi probably like 80% of the time. I do have a Walmart Plus subscription, which I love because my groceries can be delivered straight to my door. But I just find that it's becoming a little more pricey than Aldi, so we have stopped doing that as much, and we're shopping a lot more at Aldi, and we're saving so much money by doing that, by the way. And actually, I am finding, like, at Walmart you cannot get organic meat, not at my Walmart anyways. So it's so much better for me to go to Aldi because I can get my organic meats from there, and I really don't like to buy meats that are not organic. And then it's just like that with a lot of different things. Sometimes I cannot find organic produce that I'm looking for at Walmart, whereas Aldi, I can always find that. But having said that, they also don't carry things that are like a name brand that we like my Nut Pod creamer, they don't have. My husband's creamer that he likes, they don't have. But for the most part, guys, that is where we're shopping. We are not fancy grocery store people right now in this season of life. Maybe one day, but right now we are totally happy just shopping at Aldi. Number 6, and this is probably true for you too, is I don't buy everything I want. I don't tap on every single ad on Instagram or Facebook and be like, ooh, I gotta have that, I gotta have that, I gotta have that. I really try not to buy into the lie that tells you you have to have this and this and this to be happy, because that is such a trap from the enemy. And so I have to be super careful. I actually, probably 3 years ago, I unfollowed probably 200 people that I was following on Instagram that were just trying to sell you something like every single day. Y'all know the people I'm talking about. They would just, every day, they're pushing products, they're pushing clothes, and it was just so overwhelming. And although I really liked those people, I was like, I feel like the only thing you care about is to try to make money off of me, and I just don't like that, and I don't need that in my life right now. So I quickly unfollowed all of those people, and I've been so much happier since, because I have not felt the need to buy into all the consumerism. Now, that's not to say that I don't click on an ad every once in a while and add to cart, okay, because I do. But I really try to be very careful about my spending. My husband and I do a budget every other week because we get paid bi-weekly, and we stick to it as close as we can. We save for things. We pull out cash, put it in envelopes, and we save for things like vacation and Christmas and anything we're saving up for. Like, we really want to buy a family camper, so we save up for that. We save up for birthdays, just so many different things that we put money aside for every month. So I really can't afford just to buy what I want when I want. I have a little bit of like some fun money that I will spend on just different things that I want to spend it on. We also have a clothing budget, so I can use that to purchase things for me or the kids that we need each month. But I don't just go on Amazon when I feel the urge and just buy it now. I don't do that because y'all know you can get in trouble really fast doing things like that. So I have to be really careful. So the next two are about my kids. Number 7 is I don't use the TV as a babysitter. Okay. This is something that we have tried for the last probably 5, 6, 7 years to really not do, because I was finding in my early days of motherhood, just kind of turning it on so I could get a break, so I could go do what I wanted to. And honestly, guys, you really have to check your heart on that. I'm not saying that it's wrong to do that sometimes, but you just have to be really careful with it, because pretty soon you can find yourself going down that slippery slope of it just becoming an all day thing. And that is so detrimental to their mental health, to their brains, to their development, and for your relationship with them. So just be sure that that is in check, and be sure that you're spending quality time with them, that they're getting outside. That brings me to number 8, which is I don't let my kids stay inside all day. They are outside all the time. If they're not doing school, more than likely they're outside, or they're inside building something or doing something creative. My kids are so creative. They have great motor skills. They have great people skills. And there has been so much research that shows that kids who play outside are just better kids all around, emotionally, physically, spiritually, mentally. They are such healthier kids. So I highly recommend, if you're not getting your kids outside, I know right now it can be a little bit cold in some places, so that's harder to do, but it can still be done. You just wrap them up really good and let them play. You can sit and read a book while they run around, but get your kids outside. If you haven't seen the 1,000 Hours Outside, I think it's a whole website. That is a great thing to do. I think they have like a tracker and all these different resources that you can use to help you stay on track and be sure that you are getting enough time outside each year. I don't even use that because ours would be like way past 1,000 because we were outside so much. But I know a lot of people who that is really helpful for. So that is a good tool if you are struggling with that and you need something to kind of keep you on track. Number 9 is I don't compare myself. Okay, maybe this is one of the other almost. I really try not to, but it is hard, right? It is so hard. I feel like the older you get, the more wise you become with this, and the more you just don't care what people think or what they're doing. You're like, let's just focus on what is working for us. But I have learned this a lot, not only in my homemaking, but especially in my homeschooling. Like, I cannot do what other people are doing. I have to do what is working for us in the season that we're in, because seasons change, children change, and life changes, and your homeschool has to kind of evolve with all of that. So you really cannot compare your homeschool to someone else's, because your homeschool is always going to look different from someone else. And that is the beauty of it. And so once I started seeing it through that lens, it made me feel so much better and so much more confident about what we're doing, because I stopped comparing myself to everyone else's homeschool. And it's the same with your homemaking. If you will stop going into someone else's house when they invite you over and be like, oh my goodness, this place is perfect. I could never do this. This is why I don't have people over my house, because I could never do this. Then you are missing out on such a joy, because it is a joy to host people. It's biblical. You should be hosting people in your home, especially if they invite you. You should always return the favor and invite them back. I feel like that is common courtesy, and it's also something people don't do very often. Hosting is a beautiful thing, and the thing is, it doesn't have to be perfect. You can have laundry laying out on your couch. You can have dishes in the sink. You can have dirty floors. I never clean my floors before somebody comes over, especially if they've got kids, because I'm like, what is the point? They are gonna trash it. So I just clean it after they leave. I make sure there's like nothing, completely gross on the floor. But for the most part, I will just clean it after they leave, and that's fine. But you just do what you can do. I mean, obviously you don't want them to show up and your house is a complete wreck and disaster and the bathroom's nasty. Obviously, clean up a little bit, but I'm just saying things don't have to be perfect. You can order pizza. You don't have to make this big, huge, elaborate meal. You could say, hey, can you guys bring hamburgers and I'll make everything else, or vice versa. And that is okay too. So anyways, I just wanted to encourage you with that, is try not to compare yourself in your homeschooling and your homemaking, just even woman to woman, because that is such a trap from the enemy. And he uses that in our lives to get us down, to get us depressed, to steal our joy. Comparison is the biggest thief of joy. Y'all hear me say that all the time. It's so true. true. And so if you let him, he will get in there and create a stronghold in your heart with comparison, and it will just be something that is really hard to let go of. So just keep your heart in check with that. Ask the Lord, say, is there any area in my life where I am comparing myself to other people? If so, Lord, take that from me, and he will do it. So just focus on what he has called you to in this moment, in this season that you are in, and don't even focus or look at anybody else's life or what they're doing. Just focus on what he's called you to and be obedient to that, and you will have joy and you will be so content. Another thing I feel like steals our joy and is a big like comparison trap is being on social media a lot, which brings me to my last one, number 10, which is I do not allow myself unlimited access to social media, because I have found it leads to depression, it leads to discontentment, it leads to sleeplessness. The list honestly goes on and on and on. And I hope that you have not experienced this, but if you have, you know that there are so many different things that can happen if you are constantly on your phone and on the different apps and social media. And guys, this can even be a good thing, even if you're listening to like podcasts or sermons or, watching biblical YouTube channels and things like that. That can be awesome, but too much of a good thing will make you sick. Too much candy will make you sick. A little bit of it is fine. You're good. But guys, I'm telling you, you just have to be careful what you're consuming, because I'm just reminded of Luke 6:45, which is from the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So what that verse means to me is whatever you're filling your heart with is what is going to come out of your mouth. So if you find yourself short-tempered, impatient, just having sharp words to your spouse or your kids, check your social media. Check what you're consuming. Are you watching too many shows on Netflix? Are you just scrolling your phone for hours on end? Because guys, that is not what we were created for, because the more that we do that, the more unhappy we will be, the more discontent we will be. And guys, it goes on and on and on from there. So I highly recommend setting a timer on your phone. I have one for my social media. So at 1 hour, it shuts off and I do not keep going. I turn it off and that's it for the day. So just be very careful with that. Keep yourself in check. Get some accountability if you need some accountability. So I am not saying that I am perfect with all of this. I struggle too. Sometimes I really just want to binge a Netflix show or stay on my phone for a couple of hours and kind of zone out. But we have to be so careful with that, because the enemy really is using that in so many people's lives to cause all kinds of division in marriages, in relationships, and just affect your mental health and your spiritual health, and we can't let him win, okay? So I hope this video was encouraging. I hope it gave you some great tips and inspiration and just motivated you. I would love to know, what is one thing you don't do as a homemaker? Let's chat about it in the comments below, and I'll see you guys back here next time for another video. Bye, friends.